Today's long overdue video is how to sew removable pads in any bikini top. The method I'm using is very simple, so it's easy to use in any style that you want to have removable pads. I'm going to be making the Dallas bikini top, which is a free pattern that I'll make sure to link in the description. For this tutorial, you'll need an outer fabric and a lining fabric. For my outer fabric, I'm using this ribbed red fabric. For my lining, I'm using a solid red. So first, I'm going to cut 2 triangles in my ribbed fabric. Then I'm actually going to cut 4 triangles in my lining. So this top will actually be triple lined, which is a little more difficult to execute, but the quality is great and it works really well with pads. Now before I move forward, I do want to mention that you don't have to do it this way. You could technically follow the same steps with 2 layers, but I have found that pads tend to show through with thin layers of fabric. Plus, if sand or anything gets trapped between the 2 layers of the top, it can get a little messy and show through, especially if you have a lighter color like yellow or a light pink or something. Now I do wish I chose 2 different colors since the ribbed fabric doesn't really pick up well on camera, but I'm going to make sure to label this so you can see which is the ribbed and which is the lining. So now you're going to put your ribbed fabric aside and you're going to take your 4 lining pieces. Grab 2 of those lining pieces first, and you're going to cut a small sliver out of the side of each. This is where we're going to be taking our pads in and out. I would recommend finishing off this cut portion, but in this tutorial I did skip it since my cut was pretty small and discreet. It's good to cut a decently small section since it's going to be more subtle. So if you do want to finish it off, then now is the time to do so. So in order to do this for any top, you'll need to remember that there is now a right side for our lining, and the right side is the piece that has the cutout. So even though we're treating the 2 lining pieces as one lining, there is a right side, and like I said, it's that one with the cutout. So anytime you're doing right sides together, it needs to be the cutout facing the outer fabric's right side. So to do this, I'm first laying the ribbed fabric down, right side up, then I'm laying down the lining piece with the cutout, and then sandwiching on top the lining piece without the cutout. If you're doing this right, the piece with the cutout should be sandwiched inside the other 2.
Dance for me, easy tiger, easy, let your hair down. Come closer, let me see all your million faces and all your million mistakes. You don't need to hide.
Now you're going to sew your top as you normally would. For the Dallas top, I'm first sewing those sides. Since I'm sewing through 3 layers of fabric, I'm going to be very generous with pins just to make sure that everything stays in place, especially since there is a cutout. I'm going to sew the sides and then attach elastic as I normally would. So as you can see, the cutout is nicely hidden just right inside of the seam, discreet but very functional. My stitch width was 1/2 inch, and so I needed to make sure that the depth of my cutout was at least 1/2 inch. Otherwise, I would have sewn onto the cutout and it wouldn't have been there at all.
Eyelids and perfect lips got me rushing pen and I'm so lit.
From the inside out, you can't see the cutout since it's sewn into the middle layer.
Close to my head, my darling, I get everything that has been don't matter no more. We've burned it. All those whirlwinds can't touch us no more. We've earned it.
Now to make my bra cups, I'm going to be using polylaminate foam. You can find this on Etsy or pretty much any lingerie or bra making supply shop. The material is synthetic, so to my knowledge it is swimwear approved. Now I don't have much experience working with this stuff, so I just traced and cut the shape that I needed. I serged off the edges so it was nice and finished, and then I inserted the pads inside of my top.
Now everything that has been don't matter no more.
So if any of you have better experience with this stuff, then please comment any tips or tricks that you have, since I'm definitely still learning.
We've earned it. Everything that has been don't matter no more. We've burned it. All those whirlwinds can't touch us no more. We've earned it.
And once your pads are in, you're done. Now the shape of the top is the exact same, but it's triple lined and it has pads. I personally prefer to wear my tops like this nowadays, and the triple lining feels really good. The one thing I wish I did is instead of using nylon spandex lining, I do wish that I used maybe just one nylon spandex lining and then another actual swimwear lining, since I'm afraid that as soon as this top gets wet, it's going to be a little bit too heavy, and that's not great for swimwear since it'll get saggy, and you can guess the rest. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.
This is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow.